A 16-year-old girl boards a luxury cruise with her mother and stepfather. She never comes home. By morning, her bed is empty. By noon, her phone is found shattered near the railing. No witnesses. No body. Just open ocean. Authorities rule it an accident. Then a suicide. Her mother buries an empty coffin and is told to move on. But something never made sense. The timelines didn't match. The stories kept changing. 6 years later, in a crowded foreign marketplace, that mother looks up and sees a face she never thought she'd see again. Alive, with children, and standing beside the man who destroyed her life. What really happened on that ship was never an accident. If you support stories that deserve to be told, subscribe to the channel and help this content reach more people. Your support keeps these stories alive. Subscribe and stand with the voices that were almost silenced. Angela Brooks was born in 1975 in South Atlanta, a place where families leaned on faith, hard work, and each other. It was the kind of neighborhood where mothers worked 2 jobs, fathers left before sunrise, and Sunday mornings still meant church clothes and quiet prayers. Angela became a mother at 26. Her daughter, Naomi Brooks, was born in 2002, a spring baby with curious eyes and a soft laugh that filled every room. Naomi's biological father died in a construction accident when she was just 3 years old. A scaffolding collapse. He never made it to the hospital. From that day forward, it was just Angela and Naomi, 2 against the world. Angela did what single mothers do when survival is the only option. She worked long shifts, night shifts, double shifts. She trained as a nurse and took every overtime hour she could get. Not for luxury, not for comfort, just to make sure the lights stayed on, the fridge stayed full, and Naomi never felt like she came second to hardship. And Naomi knew it. She was a quiet child, artistic, observant, always watching the world instead of rushing through it. She loved photography, carried a small camera everywhere, took pictures of things other people ignored. Cracks in sidewalks, sunlight through windows, reflections in puddles. For years, Angela and Naomi were inseparable. They had their own jokes, their own routines, their own unspoken language that only mothers and daughters who grow up together understand. But when Naomi turned 14, something changed. Angela noticed it slowly at first. Shorter answers at dinner, more time alone in her room, her laughter fading into silence. Angela assumed it was normal. Teenage years, growing pains, independence. That's what everyone says, right? But then there was Leon Carter. Angela met Leon in her late 30s at a hospital charity event. He was confident, charming, and attentive in a way Angela wasn't used to. After years of feeling invisible, Leon made her feel seen. He listened. He remembered details. He said all the right things. They married in 2016. Leon legally adopted Naomi soon after. Angela believed she had finally given her daughter the stable family she'd always wanted. A father figure, a complete home, security. What Angela didn't know was that Leon Carter had learned something long before he ever met her. He was born in 1979, raised in Birmingham, Alabama, in a home that provided necessities but never warmth. Emotional distance shaped him. Attention became something he learned to manufacture. Leon knew how to read people, how to say what they needed to hear, how to make himself indispensable. That skill built him a career in pharmaceutical sales. It also hid his flaws, gambling debts, failed relationships, a pattern of women who left and never looked back. But Angela didn't see any of that. Naomi did. By late 2017, Naomi stopped mentioning Leon at all. Her Instagram told the same story. Photos with him vanished after December, like he'd been erased. Her best friend noticed too. She just said it was complicated, she would later tell investigators. Then she changed the subject. Angela noticed the distance growing into something heavier. Naomi stopped eating with them, stopped asking for help, stopped opening up. Angela tried everything, movie nights, heart-to-heart talks, mother-daughter days. Nothing worked. And Leon had an answer for everything. You're smothering her. She's 16. This is normal. Angela wanted to believe him, because believing him meant everything was still okay. In January 2018, Leon suggested a solution. A family cruise. 10 days. Caribbean. No distractions. Just the 3 of them. A chance to reconnect. Angela agreed. She didn't know she was stepping into the final chapter of the life she thought she had, or that the man she trusted was already planning how to erase her daughter forever. March 8, 2018. The Carnival Horizon departs from Miami. 7 decks. Thousands of passengers. One family already quietly breaking apart. Angela packed carefully. Naomi's favorite snacks. Old photo albums. Activities they used to love when Naomi was younger. She told herself this trip would be a reset. A chance to reconnect, to bring her daughter back before whatever distance had grown between them became permanent. To everyone else on board, they looked normal. Just another family on vacation. But the cracks showed almost immediately. The cabin steward noticed it first. Naomi spent hours alone on the balcony, morning, afternoon, evening, staring out at the ocean. Silent. Still. Watching the water like it was pulling her somewhere else. Angela noticed too. At dinner, Naomi barely touched her food. She ordered room service instead and stayed in the cabin with the door locked. When Angela tried to sit beside her, Naomi pulled away. Leon had an explanation. She needs space. You're pushing too hard. Let her breathe. Angela started writing in a small journal she'd brought with her, something she used to do when things felt out of control. Day 2. Naomi wouldn't eat with us again. Leon says I'm smothering her. Maybe he's right. Maybe I don't know how to let go. By day 4, March 11th, the ship docked in Cozumel, Mexico. Angela booked a shore excursion, a tour of the Mayan ruins. She invited Naomi. Naomi said no. She said she wanted to stay on the ship and relax by the pool with Leon. Angela hesitated. Something about it didn't feel right. But she told herself she was being paranoid, exactly what Leon kept accusing her of. So she went alone. When Angela returned hours later, Naomi wasn't at the pool. Leon said she'd gone to the teen club. Then he said the arcade. Then maybe the cabin. The story changed every time Angela asked. Small inconsistencies. Easy to dismiss. But they lodged in Angela's chest like splinters. Over the next few days, March 12th through 14th, the unease grew heavier. Dining staff noticed Angela pacing, asking if anyone had seen her daughter, asking what time Naomi came to breakfast, asking if she'd been with anyone. Leon never showed concern. You're imagining things. She's fine. You need to calm down. Angela wanted to believe him, because believing him meant she wasn't losing her daughter. March 14th, the final family dinner. They sat at a table for 3. The waiter would later say he'd never forget it. The mother tried to make conversation. The man ate in silence. And the girl looked terrified. Naomi kept glancing at the exits, checking her phone. When Angela reached for her hand, Naomi pulled away like she'd been burned. That was the last time Angela saw her daughter alive. Or so she thought. March 15th, 2018. 2:47 a.m. Angela wakes up. Something is wrong. The room is too quiet. Naomi's bed is empty. Sheets pulled back. Angela checks the bathroom, the balcony, the hallway. Nothing. 3:03 a.m. She finds Leon in the hallway outside their cabin, fully dressed. He says he woke up and Naomi was gone. Says he's been looking for her. Angela asks why he didn't wake her. He doesn't have an answer. 3:15 a.m. Ship security is alerted. A 16-year-old passenger is missing. 3:52 a.m. A passenger on Deck 9 reports seeing something in the water near Deck 7. Maybe debris. Maybe a person. Maybe nothing. 6:33 a.m. Naomi's phone is found on Deck 7, near the railing. Screen cracked. No signs of a struggle. 7:10 a.m. Leon is found sitting on the deck stairs, rocking back and forth. When security approaches, he looks up and says, "She's gone. I couldn't stop her." By morning, everyone knows the truth cruise ships never say out loud. When someone goes overboard at night in the middle of the Atlantic, they don't come back. Security footage reveals blind spots on Deck 7. No witnesses. No body. Just an empty bed and a phone by the railing. Leon tells investigators Naomi was depressed, that she'd been distant, that he tried to help. Angela tells them something very different. My daughter wouldn't do this. Something happened to her. 2 stories. Only one would be believed. March 16th, 2018. The cruise ship docks in Miami. By then, the outcome is already decided. No body is recovered. No witnesses come forward. No evidence suggests a struggle. Within 48 hours, Miami-Dade police and the FBI classify the case. Accidental death. Possible suicide. No evidence of foul play. Case closed. Angela Brooks steps off the ship with nothing but paperwork, incident reports, a death certificate, and a suitcase that still smells like her daughter's shampoo. Leon Carter steps off beside her. Grieving. Supportive. Quiet. Or at least, that's how it looks. March 24th, 2018, Greenwood Cemetery, South Atlanta. Naomi is laid to rest in a coffin that weighs almost nothing. Because it's empty, Angela collapses at the graveside. Not crying. Screaming. Witnesses later say it didn't sound human. Like something primal was being torn out of her chest. She keeps repeating the same words over and over. She's not in there. She's not in there. It takes 3 people to pull her off the ground. Leon stands beside her, holding her up. But people notice things. He leaves the reception early, steps outside to take phone calls, checks his watch. One friend would later say, it felt like he was waiting for something. April 2018. Angela stops functioning. She can't sleep, can't eat, can't work. Her psychology practice places her on indefinite leave. Medication bottles line her nightstand, antidepressants, anxiety meds, sleep aids. And through it all, Leon is there. Except he isn't. By mid-April, Leon moves into the guest room. I can't sleep in our bed anymore, he tells her. Too many memories. Angela believes him. What she doesn't know is what the bank records will later reveal. April 10th, 2018. Leon opens a separate bank account, transfers funds, begins quietly separating his finances. At work, his co-workers notice a shift. One of them would later testify. He said the marriage was over. Said it was only a matter of time. That was 3 weeks after the girl disappeared. May 2nd, 2018. Angela comes home from therapy and finds Leon in the living room. 2 suitcases packed. He doesn't cry, doesn't apologize. I can't do this anymore. Angela doesn't understand. Do what? Grieve? Survive? She drops to her knees. Literally. You're all I have left of her. Please don't leave me alone. For a moment, something crosses Leon's face. Guilt, regret, or calculation. Then it disappears. I'm not a replacement for your grief, he says. I'm suffocating here. He walks out. 6 weeks after Naomi's disappearance, Leon Carter leaves Angela Brooks. May 15th, 2018. Divorce papers arrive. Leon waives all claims to the house, to shared assets, to everything. He just wants out fast. The settlement is finalized in 30 days. Angela's lawyer finds it strange. Most people fight. Leon runs. By June 2018, he's gone. No forwarding address. Disconnected phone number. Emails bounce back. Leon Carter vanishes. But behind the scenes, something else had already happened. Phone records, subpoenaed but never followed up on, show multiple calls to an unknown Bahamas number, starting March 12th, just after the ship docked in Cozumel. Bank transfers. $5,000 wired offshore. Sender, Leon Carter. 3 more calls made the night Naomi disappeared. The last one ends 13 minutes before Angela wakes up to find her daughter gone. Police had this information. The FBI had this information. No one followed up. The case stayed closed. Accidental death. Possible suicide. Angela is left alone with the silence. She sells the house. Moves into a small apartment. Boxes up Naomi's belongings like sacred artifacts she can't touch. She tries to go back to work. Lasts 3 days. A 16-year-old client walks into her office. Angela collapses in the bathroom, hyperventilating. She never returns. July 2018. Angela is hospitalized after taking too many pills. She tells doctors she just wanted 1 night of sleep without seeing Naomi's face. A 72-hour hold. Her sister moves in afterward. August brings a grief support group. Parents who lost children with bodies. Graves. Answers. Angela says nothing. Because how do you explain grieving a child who vanished? Years pass like this. Surviving. Not living. Until November 2023. Until a marketplace in Puerto Rico. Until Angela Brooks looks up and sees a woman who should be dead. November 18th, 2023. Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Angela Brooks didn't plan to be there. Her sister had insisted. Said the warm air might help. Said Angela needed to see something other than memories and hospital walls. Angela agreed only because saying no felt harder than saying yes. They wandered through a crowded open-air market near the waterfront. Tourists laughed. Vendors shouted prices. Music spilled from street corners. Life, loud and careless. Angela stopped at a fruit stand. And that's when she saw her. At first, her brain rejected it. Same walk. Same posture. Same slight tilt of the head. Angela's breath caught. The woman stood a few feet away, holding the hand of a small boy. Another child clung to her leg. She wore her hair differently, darker, longer, but the face was unmistakable. Angela's knees buckled. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." Her sister grabbed her arm, thinking she was about to faint. But Angela wasn't looking at the ground. She was looking at the impossible. Naomi. Older. Thinner. Alive. Angela staggered forward. "Naomi," she said aloud. The woman froze. Slowly, she turned. And for half a second, just half a second, the mask dropped. Recognition. Fear. Then it vanished. "I think you have me confused with someone else," the woman said, pulling the children closer. Angela stepped closer, shaking. "You're my daughter," she said. "You have a scar on your left wrist from falling off your bike when you were 9. You used to hum when you were nervous. You hate strawberries, but pretend you don't." The woman's face went pale. Her eyes filled with tears. "Please," she whispered. "Don't do this here." That was when Angela saw him, standing across the street. Sunglasses. Baseball cap. Older, but unmistakable. Leon Carter. Her husband. Her daughter's adoptive father. The man who vanished. He rushed forward, positioning himself between Angela and the woman. "You need to leave," he said quietly. "You're scaring my family." "My family." Angela laughed, a broken sound that drew stares. "You killed my daughter," she said. "You buried her without a body." Leon's jaw tightened. "She made her choice," he said, "and you should respect it." Puerto Rico police arrived minutes later, called by a nearby vendor who thought a fight was breaking out. Everyone was separated. Statements taken. IDs requested. That's when everything unraveled. The woman's passport was examined. The name wasn't Naomi Brooks, but the birth date was. The fingerprints matched U.S. records. The police stepped back, and the truth finally surfaced. Naomi never went overboard. She was groomed, for over a year, by Leon Carter. Messages recovered later showed manipulation, promises, threats. A grown man convincing a teenage girl that running away was the only way to survive. On the night she disappeared, Naomi didn't jump. She was escorted off the ship during a port stop using falsified documents arranged by Leon. He staged the phone placement, timed the calls, used the ship's blind spots. Leon disappeared weeks later, not in grief, but preparation. They relocated to Puerto Rico, married under new identities, and built a life designed to never look backward. Naomi was 17 when she gave birth to her first child. Angela was never told. The FBI reopened the case within days. Leon Carter was arrested and extradited. He was charged with human trafficking, sexual exploitation of a minor, fraud, and obstruction of justice. Naomi was not charged. She was classified as a victim. She entered counseling under court supervision. Angela and Naomi were reunited, not as mother and daughter frozen in time, but as two people forced to grieve different versions of the same loss. They meet now, slowly, carefully, with years of pain between every conversation. Angela says she doesn't regret going to Puerto Rico. "Grief taught me how to survive," she later said. "But truth taught me how to live again." This wasn't just a disappearance. It was a lie that lived for 6 years. A mother forced to grieve without a body. A child groomed by the one man who was supposed to protect her. And the most terrifying part? If Angela hadn't taken that trip, if she hadn't looked up at the right moment, this story would still be buried. No investigation, no justice, no truth. Stories like this don't end when the credits roll. They end when people refuse to look away. If you believe victims deserve to be heard, if you believe silence only protects the guilty, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this story so it reaches someone who needs to hear it. Because some people don't vanish. They're erased, and the truth only survives when we keep telling it.